2025 will expose just how broken car buying has become, and if you're not ready, it's gonna cost you thousands. If you're thinking about buying a car in 2025 and it's just gonna be like it always has been pre-pandemic, you better think again. Over my 25 years in the car business, I've seen it all, and what's coming will change the game forever. So let's break it down so you don't get left behind. And I'm gonna start with the elephant in the room, the rise and the fall of the seller's market. The pandemic flipped the car industry upside down. It created a seller's market that we've never seen in the history of the automobile business. Dealers held all the power and the buyers lined up to pay over MSRP because inventory was scarce and the patience of the consumer was even scarcer. Post-pandemic, the market has shifted closer to equilibrium. It's not a full-on buyer's market yet, but consumers have regained some negotiating power. But I want to address a couple key points here. One, consumers are coming into dealerships with a chip on their shoulder, and I think a lot of this has to do with social media. So let me tell you something. This wasn't really the dealership's fault. You, the buyers, created the market by paying over MSRP and justifying it with impatience. Now, I am not agreeing that the dealers should have charged over MSRP. Matter of fact, Mike's Car Store, where I own now, is pretty much a process of the over MSRP because I did not want to be part of it. And no, you can't rely on what you've been reading in the comment section of social media. And there'll even be comments here as you go through the process that, oh, this dealership charged over MSRP and I'm not going to ever do business with them. Or there's a list of dealers on forums of whatnot. Consumers don't care. There's a dealership in Fort Wayne, Indiana, where I'm from originally, that has been in the business for 50 or 60 years. When I was 17 years old, 18 years old, I bought a car from them. They screwed me over. And when I got into the car business in 2000, that's why I said I'm never screwing anyone over, because I found out how bad I got screwed over. That dealership is still in business today. They flourished. They're one of the top dealerships for their brand in the country. They're in a town of 300,000 people, and they're one of the top dealerships in the country. The dealership will always find a new customer. So you saying, hey, I'm not going to do business with this place, they don't care. They simply don't care. And places like Toyota, they've done an excellent job maintaining the balance of supply and demand. So therefore, if you want to buy a new Toyota, it's getting hard. But you compare that to Stellantis, who owns Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, who's done poor handling of inventory, which is now biting them in the butt, shows to you where these dealerships and these manufacturers are going to go to. They want to control supply and demand. And so don't expect we see in a buyer's market much over the next couple of years. It's starting to get there, but it's just going to go back to what it used to be, and it's not going to get any better. These dynamics are setting up a stage for 2025, and the key takeaway is that you need to adapt to the changes or risk having a frustrating buying experience. Before we dive into the next tip, let's talk about Ora, the sponsor of today's video. Over the years, we've seen some pretty massive data breaches. Dell's breach exposed over 49 million customer records. Ticketmaster's leaked impacted 560 million records. But the most shocking to me was the national public data breach, which likely affected every single American's social security number. Hackers even posted that stolen information online for free. It's alarming how vulnerable we all are. That's why I've trusted Ora for years to keep my data safe. Ora monitors billions of data points across the dark web for your personal information and alerts you instantly if anything suspicious comes up. They also include up to $5 million in identity theft insurance for peace of mind. And with features like their VPN, antivirus, and data broker opt-outs, Ora offers everything you need to stay protected all in one app. You can try Ora for 14 days free at aura.com/ChevyDude, and trust me, in those 2 weeks you'll see how much they can do to keep you safe. Now let's get back to saving you some serious cash. The second thing is the COVID salesperson. You probably have never heard this terminology. These are the folks who joined the car business between 2020 and 2023 during a time where cars essentially sold themselves. They didn't learn how to negotiate, they had no idea how to talk to customers and build rapport, and they probably don't even know how to properly assist customers. These salespeople are essentially order takers. They know how to fill out paperwork and hand you the keys. But if you're looking for someone who can help you navigate through a deal or get information on a car, product knowledge, provide real insight, you're out of luck. If you are buying a car in 2025, my advice is to look for experienced salespeople. Ask for someone who's been at the dealership for 6 to 10 or more years. Now, these are the people who know how to work with customers and adapt to ever-changing markets. And most importantly, with their longevity with that dealership, they are most likely looking to get relationships over customers. Therefore, they are looking for repeat and referral business because these salesmen sit at their desk and sell cars all day long. They don't have to stand out in the heat and the cold waiting for the next customer. The third one is extended warranties, and they're going to be more important in 2025 ever. So if you are buying a car in 2025, an extended warranty isn't going to be optional, it's going to be essential. The cars being built during the pandemic and even before the pandemic are now aging into trouble years, and we're starting to see major issues. I want to take Mazda, for example. Mazda has always been a good car that I love their stuff. They've got a widespread problem, so much that I'm not putting them on our lot here anymore and selling them. They have engine head cracking on their 2.5 turbo engines. It's literally cheaper to replace the entire engine than fix the head. The head's a $700 wholesale part, but you want me to put in a $5,000 engine. Because the gaskets alone on this engine are $1,000 wholesale. Imagine if you had to pay retail. Another thing to keep in mind is the state of the service departments. Now, the service departments are all overworked, they're underappreciated people in the dealership, and let's face it, nobody goes into the service department because they're having a good day. These folks are consistently dealing with frustrated customers, delayed parts, lack of having good mechanics, and the backlogs of everything else that happens in that world. That's why extended warranty is so critical, because it can save you time, it can save you some money, and most importantly, the stress in the long run. Most extended warranty companies give you a loaner car while your car is in service, which if you watch my extended warranty, you'll get more about that as well. Number 4 is the evolution of used cars. The used car market is changing rapidly. Inventory is tighter, prices are higher, and mileage is climbing. Here's a quick history lesson for you. Ford announced back in 2018 that they were discontinuing all passenger cars except for the Mustang. The last Taurus rolled off the line in early 2019. Since then, nearly every manufacturer has followed suit, focusing on SUVs. The cheapest SUV on the market today starts at about 23,000 miles. And if you don't maintain it properly, which nobody does, it won't last past 100,000 miles. We see cars with 80 and 90,000 miles, and you're like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? This is already this way. And they're always consistently the cheapest cars on the market. And if you're looking for a reliable $5,000 car, let me break it to you, that ship has sailed. Every single day at this dealership, I get 50 people asking me, hey, I'm looking for a $5,000 or $6,000 car. Even $10,000 cars now require thorough inspections, and you better have an emergency repair fund because they're gonna break. To put it in perspective, used golf carts are selling for $6,000 these days. If a golf cart costs that much, how do you expect to get a fully functional car for $5,000? They're almost done. A good reliable car nowadays is $15,000 and $20,000. SUVs, $20,000 and $25,000. Plain and simple. Number 5 is going to be the changing role of sales and financing. So another big shift this year is how dealerships operate. Do not expect to see salespeople standing outside waiting for that next customer to pull in a lot. They understand the statistics now. This is a very statistical driven industry. The focus has shifted to online leads, which it's been that way for 10 years, but because they have a much higher closing ratio, salespeople are not wanting to talk to people who just walk on the showroom floor or walk on the lot or drive on a lot. You can comment down below if you've experienced this. I know we're gonna have a lot of comments on that. If you walk in on the lot or just driving through the lot, the likelihood of you buying a car is less than 10%. You fill out a lead form on the internet, regardless if it's their website or Car Gurus or TrueCar or Edmunds or whatever the case may be, a 90% closing ratio. Car salespeople know this, so they're not even dealing with that low closing ratio. And I wanna give you this quick story too, because dealerships are backing off on how much they pay salespeople. So now their time is more valuable. When I was selling Corvettes, definitely during the C7 and the C6 era, nobody wanted to deal with new car sales of the Corvettes because of low commissions. We literally got paid $100. So all those C6 and C7 cars that you know that I sold, I got paid $100 outside of the 2014 model year and 2015 model year Z06 and ZR1. Salespeople would fight to hand off those customers to me because they didn't want to deal with them. One day I had 3 of them happen in a row. I'm like, why don't you guys ever give me the used Corvette customers? You gladly take them, but you won't take the new car customers, because they knew the profit margins and commissions were much higher on those used cars. That dynamic is still in play today, and it's something to keep in mind as you navigate the process, especially on new cars, because salesmen are only going to be getting paid $100 to $200. So what does all of this mean for you? The car business is thriving, but only for those who run it ethically and efficiently. I don't see 2025 taking a dip in car sales in any way, shape, or form. Prices may come down a smidge, but nothing crazy. Prices will keep climbing on most of the hot items, especially those $15,000 cars and those $20,000 cars, and buyers will need to be more prepared than ever before. And you got to do your homework. Do not go to dealerships unless you are test driving a car or you are picking up the car you bought and negotiated on the phone. There's no other reason to be inside of a dealership in 2025.